Okay, good afternoon, people. Um, Today is March 1st, Friday, March 1st. And I'm going to tell you exactly what my father went over with me last night because we went over quite a few things. I was half expecting him to be angry with me because I was telling y'all exactly how I felt because, he told me to be honest with him. And even my guides and angels were sitting there saying, "You can't say that to God." I said, "God is my father, and he told me straight up that I needed to be honest with him because he can't stand lies. I don't like lies." And I keep telling him all the time, I said, "I feel like you're lying to me." He said, "I ain't lying to you." He said, "What we're doing has never been done before." He says, "You know me better than anybody." And he's right. I do know him. I know his love. I know his love from before there was even a concept of time for me. Because I knew when I did a soul retrieval some years ago, and I shared that with you, that I was born out of love and desire, his love and desire, his masculine and feminine energy coming together to coalesce and create that which he desired in and of himself because he was disappointed with what had existed prior to. Basically, mankind and his mate who had been corrupted before they even knew what they were. And they're so busy arguing with one another about who now is supposed to be able to speak that which is. Christ was an example. Christ was not God. He says, "This is what you can be." I don't need to basically have that long of a conversation with anybody to know if they're struggling with that as a concept. But I do not also need that much time to know that when you sit there and you rest on your own damn laurels and you think that you have figured it all out and that somebody's got to put up with your bullshit, or you met the wrong person who is also enlightened as you don't see it. I don't need you to grade me. I grade myself. I have issues with myself. I self-correct myself. And I do it with the help of that which is God. You ask too many questions that go nowhere. I understand sometimes why you ask certain questions, but you have to understand something too. At some point in time, your questions become nonsensical. And it's just busy work. And I have enough to do rather than sit there and just conduct busy work with the likes of you. Now, my father asked me straight up, what do I like? There's a lot of people I like, and a lot of people I don't. And they all seem to be some form of spiritual entity that think they are Christ identified and they are accepted and loved by Christ. I beg to differ. I know the story of the Antichrist. It hasn't happened yet, but it will. Because when you find out that you've been rejected by that which is Christ, you're going to turn to the next thing, and that would be him. Because you will sit there and say, "I cannot accept the pain of such rejection to the point that I will turn to anything that will accept me." That's the story of the Antichrist. But he hasn't come yet. It could be a she. You really don't know. Because women are leading the New Age movement. But women have always been involved in a movement. If you don't understand that, then why are you the nurturers and birthers of a new age? Any given age. And at the same time, why do you sit there and say that you have the right to choose? And man is still sitting there saying, "She won't lie with me," which is part of Genesis. What Adam said to God. She won't lie with me. But in Hebrew lore, Lilith was the first woman, on par with man. And she said, "I don't have to lie with you." And he had a problem with that. So God gave him another mate, fashioned out of his own rib, so he could begin to understand for himself that that which goes against you is still you. Don't play this game with me, people. Because, see, the thing is, if you're going to talk about mysticism and symbiology and all that kind of shit, you better get it right and don't sit there and just tell me God made some shit in 6 days when we know damn well it took a lot longer. And his concept of time versus our own trumps anything. Because, see, he invested all manner of time creating what he wanted. We had no concept of time. Moses received the word, and he got it in the fashion that he could understand. And that's how he translated it. Now, we have since evolved to a point where we actually can count above 10. Much less, much higher. But the thing is, we don't do that in a natural, just contemplative state. We use machinery to do calculations, and then we still get it wrong. Because machines are programmed by man, and they're flawed, just like man is. That's why you have problems not getting a cell signal, or with a phone that's constantly rebooting, or is always subject to a virus and things of that nature. See, you don't need me to explain this shit to you. This shit should be obvious if you call yourself studying anything or being observant to anything that's going on in this fucked up world. Now, why do I bring all that shit up? Maybe because I was so pissed. Because that man that is my so-called roommate, who I can't stand, lies incessantly. And he don't just lie about what he's going to be doing. He lies about the fact that somebody wants him and that he's an expert in artificial intelligence, much less his own. He wants to engage me in conversation, and I don't want to talk to him. I shouldn't have to tell you I don't want to talk to you for you not to get verbal and nonverbal clues when I don't want to talk to you. He asked me straight up, was I pretty much there all the time? I'm like, yeah. That was the truth. So what is he doing? The whole house is available. He stays in that room, doing what I'm doing, but not necessarily the same. Because see, the thing is, I'm doing research and I'm ready to record, and I can't record because he's in that room. He's supposed to have clients and all kind of shit, and he ain't never going anywhere, and his fucking alarm goes off at 4 o'clock in the morning, if not sooner. And rather than set that alarm to go off on the days that he's going to get up so that it's not disturbing anybody else in that room, he's being less than considerate. I'm not going to be putting earbuds in just so I can sit there and watch some shit. I'll get up and go make use of the rest of the house. But it still pisses me off because I shouldn't have to do that. I'll stay quiet when there's other people in that room who are trying to get rest, like I did with the Russian man who's no longer there. But he would get up eventually and say, I'm going into the living room. I said, you can do whatever you want, because I was trying not to disturb him. And he was not trying to disturb me. I prefer not interacting with the rest of the house because I don't like all those people. And they know it. The people that I like know I engage them. And that includes the owner. Because he's always asking me what I think about somebody. And I'm like, why are you asking me that question? I'll tell him, they're odd. To me. And he'll tell me about personalities and whatnot. But he ain't dealing with them either. He comes in there to get away from his own damn family, and he spends more time outside in that backyard smoking dope. As if nobody smells it. Or having a drink, as if nobody knows he's back there drinking. And then at the same time, we'll sit there and say, we have certain rules in this house. I said, yeah, and you're breaking all of them because you're the owner. So what the fuck do you want me to think about you? How much respect do you want me to show you when you show no respect for anything that you call yourself now saying, do as I say, but not as I do? I am not your child. You got a little boy that when you bring him over here, the first thing I see you do is hand him off to another, rather than engage with that child yourself. And that's pathetic to me. That does not make a good father. That makes a man trying to avoid his responsibilities. Don't ask me what I think about you people, because you won't like what I see, and you won't like what I have to say. And my father really wants me to speak truthfully. This world has got a whole lot of people who say they're Christian, and at the same time say nobody's supposed to judge them. But I'm here to tell you, part of my job is to report back to my father if I like you or not. Which means you don't get to kiss up to me. Because see, I can smell that coming a mile away. Ask my family, and ask them why I don't deal with them, and ask them why I cuss them out, and why they said, oh, you such a big man, talking to me from a distance. Said, motherfucker, when I was at your door, you couldn't get your fat ass off the couch to come and address me. I'm not a little boy that you're gonna sit there and pin. And I told you straight up, you can't sell me your shit. You don't know what I know about you. I suggest you don't even try. And I don't give a fuck what walk of life you come from. Right now, everybody is now on notice. I told my father, I said, if you want me in the streets, I can go in the street. He said, oh, bitch, please. You know damn well you ain't going in the street. About a series of dreams he sent me last night. No. He ain't planning to do that. He planning to act some shit that he been working on for a long time. So, you can go to your pope if you want to. You can go to that pastor in that church. You can go to anybody who you think you can go to. But ain't nobody praying in my name anymore. It's my name. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call out to heaven. And I'm going to say, damn them. I've already damned quite a few people. You just don't know it. This shit ain't coalescing in the world because I sit there and say, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I said, you know exactly what you're doing, and I don't appreciate it. So as the rains are falling and the floods are rising and taking away your shit, understand I prayed for that. I said, take it from them. Anything and everything you think you got in my name, and you ain't doing right by me, much less anything that I love, I've been praying for your demise. And I'm not going to take it back. And anybody who's doing anything right, like those people who purchased 45 motel rooms for those people to come out of the cold. And then the other people came in and bought them pizza so they could eat. See, now that moved me. Because I told my father, if you just give me enough money, then maybe we can get some of these people off the streets, and maybe we can feed them and give them proper health care and all that kind of shit. He's giving rise to a new generation because it's a price that he said he was meeting for me. It's not about me doing the work, and it's not about you taking credit for it in Jesus' name. You're going to do the work in your own goddamn name and get the check mark and the accolades and more because you did what was right. Credit is over with. He canceled my credit line a long time ago. When I asked him again, I said, why did you take all my shit? He said, you know why. And he's right. Like I said, some of that shit didn't even fit. Some of that shit was a life of memories that the memories are still there, but it was just stuff. But at the same time, I also had to reflect on exactly all I had in that storage locker. And some of that shit has to do with my own pathway of awakening to get here. Which means that if you call yourself coming to believe, then you will be trying to go through my personal effects to see if you can reconstruct some shit. But you can't. He sold it all off. I know exactly what he did. I still remember what was said to me, and who said it, and why. But you're going to have a hard time trying to find some artifacts. Especially if somebody threw it into a landfill because they saw no worth in it. So I suggest you try and figure out real quick what side of the fence you want to be on the outside looking in. I've had enough of this shit. I'm gonna go back up this street and see if they mischarged me for something. It's only $1, but it's my dollar, and I want it. And if they didn't, that's fine. There's something else I can get. So I won't be making a wasted trip. But what I'm not gonna do is come back into this house and sit in that room with that trifling motherfucker who told me he was getting up early. Because when he came in last night, he said, I gotta go to sleep because I gotta get up early because I have to go somewhere. And the motherfucker didn't go anywhere. He's in that room. Nobody wants him. So if they cancel an appointment with him, that says a lot. And trust me, I don't want him either. Every time I look at him, I say, when your ass gonna leave? But it ain't gonna be anytime soon because the landlord didn't even want to talk to him last night. I'm sitting at the counter eating my meal, my evening meal. And he asked me, was he in there? I said, yeah, he in there. You go in there and talk to him? He said, oh, no, I don't want to talk to him. He just owed me some money, but I told him to give it to somebody else. You don't want to talk to him? But yet you want me in the room with him. You don't bode well in my book when I told you I don't like that man. Somebody, just because they don't snore, can still be toxic in ways of energy. If I'm sitting here looking at TV on my device, and I'm looking at TV, I ain't trying to engage you in a conversation. So why the hell are you trying to talk to me? I shouldn't have to put my earbuds in so you know what I'm talking about or what I'm watching and more. You either shut the fuck up or you take yourself into another space like anybody else in this house. Because most people pretty much keep to themselves. That motherfucker don't have anybody who wants him in his life, including his former wife and his child. And I can see that. And I know why. Because he's so full of himself, it's not even funny. And that's not to say that I'm not feeling the same way. I just know that I try not to be that intrusive in other people's lives. I might hear some shit, but I don't comment unless I'm asked. And then all bets are off. So when you contemplate that in your fucked up navel because you didn't know who Jesus Christ was, and if you think you're going into the new world with me, and you're going to be accepted just as you are, I suggest you rethink that philosophy. Because there's a lot of shit I don't like. And if you don't know what it is, understand the type of person I am. I don't pack guns. I don't pack knives. I do have a tongue that can be quite wicked. And at the same time, if I don't like you, I don't mince words. And if you leave and I laugh about it, then you know we're on the same page. Capiche?